How to make waffles in a van. Step 1. Pre-made waffle mix. If you have a problem with that, just fight me. Step 2. You're gonna need about 0.4 liters of water. 75 grams of melted butter. Melt that butter real good. You wait for your butter to melt. You can put your waffle mix into the place where you're gonna mix it. And now here's the actual trick for doing this without a kitchen. You want to add very little water just to make this into a very thick paste, basically. Because you don't have a big whisk, you just have a fork. This will make it way easier to mix without getting big clumps. And in the meantime, your butter is melted and you need to wait for it to cool down a bit, but by the time we've blended everything together, it should be cold enough. I have this really thick paste, and it's much easier to crush the clumps like this than if it's overly liquid. So just mix it like this for a bit longer. Okay, you've mixed your mix well and there are no clumps, and your butter is cold enough to add. Okay, now you mix the butter and the mix together. It's raining for hours, that's why I'm making waffles instead of going outside. It's a nice area, there's like a big lake and stuff, where there's like fish and stuff in it that you can fish out of. I think fish might be the only animal that the verb for catching it is the same as the actual animal. Like you can fish a fish, but you can't cow a cow, or you can't bird a bird, you can only fish a fish. It's quite a riveting fact. Okay, you've mixed the waffle mix with the butter. Now you're gonna get your waffle iron and you're gonna preheat it on your stove. You don't need a lot of heat for this because it's a very small waffle. So like as low as it goes, at least for the preheating part. Preheat your waffle iron. In the meantime, you can look outside because you're in the van, I guess. You can also look out the back window, if you have one. Similar view, just slightly different angle. Very surprising, I know. Could also play some piano, but it's off, so you can't. Waffle iron warm, let's say preheated. You're gonna want to put some of your waffle mix into the waffle iron. Ideally it makes a faint sizzling sound, but it's not required. And I have no idea how much to put in, so I'm just going to put in this much and hope for the best. To keep mess to a minimum, place your thing that you're pouring out of like this so that it drips into the other one instead of onto your table. Close your waffle iron and back onto the heat it goes. I've actually found it hard to burn these, so I'm gonna raise the heat just a little bit. I don't know how long each one will take, but we'll find out. Let it cook. You might see some steam coming out. That's perfectly normal. It's not smoke. If it were smoke, then my smoke detector would detect it. It's just the excess water evaporating, probably part of the cooking process. I don't know, I'm not a chemist. At some point, you will figure out exactly when. You're going to want to flip it. And what I sometimes do is, after flipping it, I open it to check if it's falling off from the top and then into the bottom. You probably need both hands for this, but you see that it's unsticking from the top. If it's unsticking, it generally means that that part is cooked. So I'm just going to use both hands to do this now. Yeah, completely unstuck. The butter really helps for this. If you didn't have butter, it would just stick and you wouldn't be able to get it out. But anyway, now I close it again and wait for the other side to cook. Waffle is done. It seems like I didn't use enough batter because you can see the plate through it. But number 2 is already in there and there is more batter. And I also upped the heat a little bit to see if I can decrease the cook time. This one took about 7 minutes to cook. And it could be more cooked. I mean, yeah, the outside could be like it's actually okay. it'll probably be fine. This one had full batter and I raised the heat only slightly, and it's looking way healthier. This is an actual waffle and not a thick pancake full of holes. So this one has developed this golden outside, which is actually how I like it. So this is exactly how I want it. It's basically just before it burns, but not actually burning. Because if it burns, you'll hear it, because this thing will detect the smallest amount of smoke. It's insane. Now that's one fine waffle. I'm gonna try to repeat the exact same thing again. It's already in there. Third waffle is done. It's taking roughly 8 or 9 minutes per waffle. But let's be real, I'm locked inside a van and it's raining, so what else would I be doing? The time would have passed anyway, but this way, when the time has passed, I have waffles, which is much better than the time passing and not having waffles. So keep in mind the relativity here. It's not burnt, but it's burnt. In terms of burnt, it's burnt. But these are good, and I have one more, and it's the last one. Then I can actually eat them, which is the goal of making food. Last waffle is out. So in total I got 5 waffles, well 4.5 because the first one, yeah, more like a pancake with holes. But these 4 are good and not really burned, they are perfectly good. Might take a couple of tries to actually get them good because different waffle irons cook differently. Different stoves also have different temperatures, and different mixers also cook differently, so you'll have to try a couple of times as long as the mix remains consistent. As soon as you figure it out, then you can basically always nail them. But anyway, now we move on to toppings. From left to right we have maple syrup and cinnamon and sugar, which is okay. Yes, I do keep my sugar in an Uncle Ben's jar. And honey, this is actually Portuguese honey. It's really, really good stuff. So I've been trying to save it, but I'll just get my mom to send me more, I guess. And yeah, these toppings are pretty decent, and they store very well, so it's no problem in a van. However, Norwegian tradition says that you eat your waffles with sour cream and jam, which is a delicious combo, really delicious combo. But I don't have any, so I can't do it. I apologize to the king in advance, but I will just have to eat it with maple syrup. Yeah, and enjoy.